MagicMark is the operating software from ACI Laser. The user interface consists in several windows. The status bar can be seen on the left. The current status and the peripherals are displayed here. The red warning color indicates that the system is not ready for use because of a corresponding reason. This reason could be an open safety circuit or an error in the laser system. The yellow color indicates that the system is basically ready and waiting for the initial start from user side. Green indicates that the peripherals are online and everything is working fine. The text box requires a password to be entered in order to enable work with the software. The password regulates the user authorization. To define the authorization, open the settings bar and call password settings. In this window you can define several user levels. For this purpose, the corresponding checkboxes are activated and the setting is stored with the name and the password. If necessary, an automatic logout can be arranged in this drop-down menu. The next important element is the control bar. Here the laser is switched on and off and the process started or interrupted. The green button turns the laser to standby mode, the red button turns off the laser. A mechanical shutter is built into the laser to prevent the user from being exposed to residual radiation. This mechanical unit is between the laser and the user. This can only be opened if all safety requirements have been taken, especially the safety circuits are closed. The pilot laser button activates the pilot laser. This is a class 1 laser that is coupled into the beam path of the hot laser. When activated, the center point of the marking field is displayed. With the help of the pilot laser, the bounding box draws a rectangular box around the contents to be marked. This is very helpful in aligning the layout perfectly with the material. The box is supported by the pilot laser inside. The rubber band draws the geometry around the content to be marked. This also helps to align the marking on the workpiece. The difference to the bounding box is that the contour behaves according to the geometric limitation and does not open a static rectangle. The focus finder button activates the focus finder when it is mounted on the laser. The focus finder is used to put the focus of the laser on a material surface with the help of the optical impression. Mark area switches on the pilot laser and directs the scanner mirror to the maximum position, so that the entire marking field is displayed. Video overlay calls up a video window that accesses an internal or external camera directly. This means, for example, that the layout can be placed on a material surface with the help of a camera image. Axis positioning only works if the external axis function is checked. The prerequisite is that the workstation is connected. Run external starts the laser process but waits for an external trigger. This can be, for example, a foot switch or a start trigger on the workstation front panel. The process is paused after each laser cycle and the next trigger signal is waiting for. The Run button starts the laser process regular. At the start, it is checked whether all safety circuits are closed. If these are closed, the shutter gets opened and the laser is output on the material surface. Cycle pause pauses the current laser process. This can be useful, for example, to check the position of the marking when setting up an application. Cycle stop interrupts the current process, and the stop button stops the complete process. This box shows the number of actual cycles. The next window is the layout tree. This scrolls from top to bottom. In this, the layout is arranged and processed from top to bottom. All containers, objects and modifiers are clearly displayed here. The next is the features bar. Structural elements can be found on the left. These lay a structure in the architecture of the layout. The most important structure element is the container called element. This container is the prerequisite for inserting layout elements such as text and geometries or codes. The middle bar is activated as soon as the container is present in a layout. This includes the typical layout elements. These elements will be discussed in detail in a later video. The right side of the functions bar contains various modifiers. These are used to specifically change the objects. More on this in a later video. The preview screen is the largest window. This shows the layout and gives an impression of the layout size and the size of the marking field. The light blue area is the area of the entire marking field, including the degrees of freedom of the axis of a workstation. The square in the middle represents the entire marking field of the scanner in combination with the lens. The Properties window is at the bottom. All attributes of the structural elements, objects and modifiers can be set here. Later, when it comes to the various elements, they will be discussed in more detail. On the right side, there's a bar of functions for setting the view. When creating a layout, it is often necessary to change the view settings. Okay, that's it so far. Good luck!